Austin is about to change more in the next few years than it has in the last decade. From the skyline to the suburbs and even the water we drink, everything is being reshaped by billions of dollars in new projects that were just announced. I'm talking about towers on South Congress, a chip factory the size of multiple stadiums. We're talking new neighborhoods, the transportation around us, and a $1 billion water project that could define Austin's survival during the future droughts. I want to go through some of these really big projects, and also thanks to Turn 11 Car Condos for letting us come in here and shoot here at Circuit of the Americas. I've done other videos in the past about what's happening at Circuit of the Americas. If you want more videos about what's happening here, just go ahead and put the word circuit down below. We'll make sure I do more videos of this. By the way, if you are new to this channel, I talk about real estate, what's happening in Austin, the news, so make sure you subscribe before I start going through this, because there's a lot of really big developments that are coming here in the Austin area. My name is Jeremy Knight. I am your favorite Austin realtor. Today I'm going to go through some of the big projects that are happening here in Austin, and I want to start with one right just south of the river, which used to be a bar called Ego's Bar, and this one is a little controversial for some people. Ego's Bar site on South Congress, for decades this has been the home to a dive bar, small apartments, and low-rise buildings. Now that is all gone. Developers just secured rezoning for a 6-acre project that will replace it with nearly 950 apartments, 225 room hotel, 600,000 square feet of office space, and 135 square feet of retail, restaurant, and even a grocery store. The towers could rise up to 650 feet tall. That pushes Austin's skyline further south of Lady Bird Lake, something we have never seen before. Ego's itself will come back in the new development, which is really awesome. You tell me if that's great or not. Now, tenants that live there are being offered $1,500 to relocate in relocation assistance. That's a small consolation when you realize an entire piece of Austin's character is being traded in the high density glass tower movement. This project doesn't just add housing, it is changing the face of South Austin and South Congress. More traffic, more foot activity, and more density. It signals really a new wave of mega projects south of Town Lake. Now I'm curious, do you think more developments like this are what is good for the growth of Austin? A lot of people in the comments have complained or even argued about the density that is happening just south of the river. In fact, all of downtown and Austin in general. So I'm curious, do you think more developments like this need to be pushed through? Now, the space that was here before, part of it was just kind of a commercial space, and then you had Ego's Bar, and then you had the apartments. $1,500, I'm curious, do you think $1,500 is good for these people to actually move out, or do you think they need to get more? You tell me in the comment section. Although I want to go through something that really does make a lot of people talk, and that's the semiconductor push here in Austin and really the Taylor area, and the Samsung, they've got some new stuff brewing. And this is probably one of the biggest industrial investments in Texas's history. Samsung just secured $250 million state grant for its chip plant in Taylor. This is part of the $4.7 billion expansion, and the scale is hard to even comprehend. The facility itself is around 6 million square feet. It will include a full research and development center, and when complete, it is expected to employ around 2,000 people directly, thousands more through suppliers and contractors. The plant is designed to produce the most advanced chips powering AI, 5G, and high-performing computing. It's not just another factory, it is a centerpiece of America's strategy to bring semiconductor production back from overseas. Construction is underway right now, as you probably already know, and the plant is projected to be operational in late 2026. The ripple effects are already obvious. Higher land prices in Taylor, housing demand in Hutto and Williamson County, and major stress on the roads, power, and water infrastructure. If you live north of Austin, this project will define the next decade of growth. And look, now Texas, the state, is giving more incentives so they can continue to grow. So I'm curious, do you think we should be giving tax incentives of $250 million to more projects like this one in Taylor? You tell me, because there's a lot happening. So you think about all of these jobs that are coming here, but what if you want to leave? Well, Austin's airport is growing and expanding, and I think this is where a lot of you might be excited. So over the next 15 months, airlines are already dropping a wave of new nonstop destinations out of ABIA, and it's not just domestic flights. So coming up, you have Delta is going to be bringing in Denver flights starting November 9th, Palm Springs November 8th, Miami November 22nd, Cancun December 20th, Columbus, Ohio in June of 2026, and Cabo in December of 2026. Now, I'm curious, are you a Delta person, a JetBlue person? Are you a Southwest person? Look, Austin's expansion of this airport's growing like mad, and both Delta and Southwest are trying to pour in more nonstop flights out of this. I'm curious, where else would you want to go? Because look, JetBlue is going to be starting another route to Fort Lauderdale starting November 20th, and Southwest is already really trying to pack in. They have Jacksonville, Palm Springs in March, Fort Myers in March, and then they're gonna have Steamboat Springs in Colorado. That's one I'd probably wanna go to. I've never been to Steamboat. Would you go to Steamboat? But look, if you are looking south, Viva Airbuses is adding Mexico's newest Felipe Angeles International Airport in November 20th. All of this comes as ABIA has gone under a $4 billion expansion, new concourse, 20 to 30 new gates, reworking traffic and parking, bigger security. In fact, parking prices have definitely gone up and will continue to go up, yet there is going to be another large parking garage. And they've redesigned all of the air terminals. In fact, if you've been in there, I'm sure you've seen all the massive construction happening right now. This isn't just more about convenience for travelers. This is really about the growth of Austin. Think about nonstop flights from here means nonstop flights from those places to Austin. And we've already talked about the convention center and a lot of stuff. What are the number one reasons you think people should come visit the Austin area? I'm curious, drop a comment below. I have my reasons. In fact, I've made lots of videos about that. But let's shift away from maybe this and some of the transportation and talk about what's happening in North Austin. There's a project that isn't flashy, but is absolutely necessary. The city of Austin is spending $250 million to build a new service hub near Johnny Morris Road and Highway 290. This will be home to the city's waste collection fleet, other municipality vehicles, and administrative offices. It might not sound exciting, but it will make city services faster, more efficient, and better prepared for a growing population. The new center isn't expected to be complete until fall 2027, and while it won't change the skyline, it will directly impact how quickly Austin can scale basic services like water collection, recycling, and emergency fleet operations. In other words, it's invisible infrastructure, the kind of project nobody talks about, but everyone relies on. I'm curious what you think about this, because a lot of people talk to me about the water issues. Austin Water is launching a $1.5 billion project to store treated drinking water in the, I'm just gonna call it the Carrizo-Wilcox. It is the Carrizo-Wilcox aquifer in Bastrop County. Here's how it works. Water will be injected underground and stored long-term, and then pumped back out during times of drought. Think about it as a giant underground savings account for Austin's water supply. The project starts with a 3-year study to make sure that the chemistry works, but if approved, it could be operational by late 2040. Is that a little too late or perfect timing for Austin's water problems? It's expensive, it's long-term, but it could determine how Austin survives future droughts as millions of more people continue to move here. So there you have it. In just the last couple of weeks, Austin has been announcing major projects that are hopefully helping some of our infrastructure. They are helping future of Austin. Do you think these projects are good projects? Do you think that they're right projects for Austin? I'm curious how you feel about the water issues in Austin. I am Jeremy Knight, your favorite Austin realtor. Make sure you subscribe to this channel if you haven't already. And should I make a full video about what's happening at Circuit of the Americas? You tell me. See you in the next video. And by the way, this video right here is probably the best one to watch.